Hi guys, welcome back to Rugby Scrum Skills. So today we're going to have a look at a scrum from the recent France Wallabies series. It's the second test in Melbourne. I was fortunate enough to be there and watch the game live, so it was a cracking game of football. But I want to look at the last scrum where France won the penalty and they went on to kick the goal and win by 2 points. So I've broken it down for you on what Australia could have done better and what France did really well. So I hope you really get something out of this. Thanks.
Okay, so let's have a look at this scrum. Final scrum in the France-Australia game in Melbourne. France were a point behind, about 4 minutes to play. Okay, France dominate this scrum, get the penalty, kick the goal, win the game by 2 points, as most of you will know. But what I want to show you here is, I'll show it in real time and then I'll break it down for you and see how they got the dominance on the tight head side. So here it is in full speed. Okay, so there's the penalty. As a scrum coach, that's a whole lot of ugly that went on just there. Okay, so what we'll do now is I'll bring it back and I'll break it down for you. And so let's have a look here. Okay, so there we've got the into the bind call. Okay, so it looks like here that the Wallaby front row is trying to put a tight head block on the French prop from coming through. Okay, but it didn't work, and we'll talk about why it didn't work as we roll through. So a tight head block is used to try and stop a big dominant prop coming through. Okay, so if we watch the set, okay, it's a pretty fair set call. No one really won that engagement. But then France put the shove on. Okay, because if we look here, the tight head here, he's hit in, he's trying to split the loose head on this side, which causes a little bit of instability for the hooker. Okay, and the loose head is actually trying to pinch in and down on the tight head, okay, to stop them coming forward. Okay, but the tight head drives through, and that's because the loose head for Australia is only a young bloke, but he goes all right, and I rate him. He's just got to get some experience up. He should have got his shoulder out from behind the hooker. Okay, a lot of tight heads that are boring in look to crash that seam, so by tucking his shoulder in, he can't actually use his shoulder. So what they're trying to do is the loose head and the tight head are trying to bore down on the tight head from France and just get him out of shape, okay, because he's a big strong human. Okay, so we roll through, and the hooker can't use his left shoulder and the loose head's tight shoulder to push down on the tight head and get him out of shape, and he's really struggling because Tupou's out of shape as well. Because he's trying to get in on the hooker. The hooker's lost his stability. Now I'm not entirely sure that the hooker, Lonergan at the time, was actually ready for that ball to come in when the ball got fed in. Okay, because they're not square, they're not stable. Okay, they might have been better off letting that go to ground about there. Okay, so it's still not square and stable. They're still trying to fight into that shape. So that we can still see here through this whole thing that the loose head and the hooker are not really putting pressure down on the tight head to stop him from coming through. Okay, and getting him out of shape, which is what France have done on their side. So if you see here, the shoulder connection is slightly different between the loose head and the hooker, because they're actually using both shoulders to push down on Taniela. Okay, where here we've got Lonigan pushing down and Bell can't get his shoulder around and pop it out. Okay, so it's still not steady. They're starting to stand up, okay, as the hooker as the halfback feeds the ball in. So now the poor hooker in the middle, he's got pressure coming now this way, and he's trying to stay square. So now the French hooker has just changed his direction and he's now in on our hooker. There's pressure coming through there and there's pressure coming through there. Okay, so there's nowhere for the hooker to go. He can't get a clean strike on that, and they come up. Okay, they just keep driving forward. They're driving straight. Look at the front row now. Got pressure coming here. He's about to stand up. There's a split here. Okay, again, all kinds of ugly. Okay, and then they just stand up, and the penalty's awarded. Okay, so if we go back to the start, so if you just look at the difference here between this connection here and this connection here, okay, the French loosehead's got his shoulder out, so he can actually use his inside shoulder, so he can use his right shoulder and the left shoulder of the hooker to bore down on Taniela Tupou and get him out of shape, which is what Australia tried to do on their side. But as they come forward, okay, the French tight heads come through and Angus Bell can't get his shoulder down, and that's just driven him right out of shape. Okay, so what he's got to do there is just pop that shoulder out a little bit more. Okay, so it's in line with the hooker, like this guy here. Okay, they're pretty much in line, and they're pinching down on Taniela. Okay, and that may have resolved that issue there. Okay, so but the tight head did a really good job from France, just to he just stayed straight. The whole front row stayed straight, and they just pushed through. They knew they had the Wallabies out of shape about there. Okay, they would have felt the pressure change, and now Bell has come in. Okay, tight head's still staying in the fight. He's still trying to stay strong in there. Okay, but yeah, young Angus just got a bit out of shape, but he'll learn from that and he'll get a lot better as we go through.
So there you go, guys. That's the breakdown of that final scrum, and the way I saw it. I hope you got something out of that. The importance of trying to stay square when you've got the opposition under pressure and just driving through. Okay, and just the little things that can go wrong in your setup when you're trying to do some technical stuff at scrum time. Like I said, Angus Bell will learn from that. I personally rate him as a loose head. He just needs to get some experience against some good quality scrummages, which is what he got against France, and he'll really blossom as a front rower. So thank you for watching that. If you haven't already, subscribe down the bottom, hit the like button, give me some feedback. I hope you got something out of it, and as always, if you need to forward this on to someone so they can learn something, feel free to. It's all about sharing knowledge. And again, thank you very much for watching.